When Byzantine Emperor Justinian I ascended the throne, his goal was not only to protect Byzantium, but also to reclaim the lost territories of the Western Roman Empire. This ambition became known as Restauratio Imperii, which means Justinian's reconquest in history. After ascending to the throne in 527, he sought to recreate Rome's Golden Age. To achieve this, he first made a peace treaty with the Persians in the east, and then turned his focus westward. In Justinian's eyes, North Africa was of immense strategic importance. It was not only a crucial part of the former Western Roman Empire, but also home to vast and fertile agricultural lands, especially Carthage, which was the most important trade center in the region. Additionally, the Vandals' naval power posed a significant threat to Byzantine trade in the Mediterranean. Justinian firmly believed that the key to regaining control of the Western Mediterranean lay in the destruction of the Vandal kingdom. By the year 533, the Vandal kingdom was crumbling due to internal strife. Vandal king Hilderic, who pursued a pro-Byzantine policy and was more tolerant toward Christians, faced backlash from within. This policy had sparked discontent among the Vandals. Gelimer, Hilderic's cousin, took advantage of the situation and overthrew Hilderic in a coup. Hilderic, who was loyal to Byzantium, was removed from the throne, giving Justinian a legitimate reason to intervene. This political development gave Justinian the justification to launch a campaign against the Vandals. He chose his most trusted general, Belisarius, to lead the campaign against the Vandals. Despite his young age, Belisarius had already earned a reputation as one of Byzantium's most talented commanders due to his victories against the Persians. Justinian gave him full authority, and in 533, Belisarius set out to defeat the Vandals. Belisarius's army consisted of approximately 15,000 soldiers and 500 warships. His force comprised Byzantine elite infantry, cavalry, and archers, all considered among the best soldiers of the era. At this point, the Byzantine navy was also highly formidable. Notably, the Byzantines' famous dromons, light and fast warships, were used to transport troops and engage enemy vessels during the campaign. Departing from Constantinople, Belisarius first stopped in Sicily, where he collaborated with the pro-Byzantine governor who opposed the Vandals. Sicily served as an essential supply point for the Byzantine forces, and from there, Belisarius set sail for North Africa. The Byzantine fleet successfully landed on the shores of Cape Bon. This was a massive surprise for the Vandals, as Gelimer had not anticipated that the Byzantines would launch such a large-scale operation so quickly. Belisarius and his army disembarked and began marching toward Carthage. For its time, the speed with which the army advanced along the coast was impressive. The Byzantine soldiers were disciplined and well-organized as they moved forward. The Battle of Ad Decimum was on the verge of becoming one of the most pivotal confrontations in history. On September 13th, 533, in the blazing heat of North Africa, two great armies stood face to face. Belisarius, the brilliant Byzantine general, was determined to erase the Vandals from history. On the other side stood Vandal King Gelimer, ready to defend his throne at all costs, yet dangerously close to making a fatal error. As Belisarius led his disciplined army from Cape Bon toward Carthage, Gelimer believed the only way to stop the Byzantine advance was through an ambush. He planned to trap the Byzantine army at a place called Ad Decimum, the 10th milestone, about 10 miles south of Carthage. His plan seemed flawless. He would crush the Byzantine army by attacking them from 3 different fronts. His brother Amatus would strike first from the city walls, while 2 other groups would encircle the Byzantines and obliterate them. But great battles in history are often shaped by small errors. Amatus, eager to prove himself, launched the attack prematurely. Without waiting for his brother's orders, he moved his forces too early, and the result was catastrophic. The Byzantine army quickly responded with a fierce counterattack. Even before the battle had truly begun, Amatus was killed by Byzantine soldiers. The Vandals were thrown into disarray, and their carefully coordinated ambush plan collapsed. With Amatus's death, Gelimer's grand strategy fell apart. Belisarius, realizing that the Vandals had moved prematurely, quickly adjusted his tactics. He sensed Gelimer's ambush and developed a counter-strategy. The Byzantine army, swift and disciplined, moved into defensive positions. Belisarius's forces were highly trained. The spear infantry met the initial Vandal charge, while mounted archers rained arrows on them from a distance. Gelimer's army began to disintegrate. Vandal soldiers, confused by Amatus's death, could not regroup or react to the Byzantines' tactical maneuvers. In the heat of the battle, Gelimer came across his brother Amatus's lifeless body and hesitated. His morale shattered at that moment. Overwhelmed by grief, instead of ordering his troops forward, Gelimer paused. Historical accounts suggest that upon seeing his brother's body, Gelimer stopped and wept, instead of immediately seeking revenge. This brief hesitation proved fatal. Instead of pushing his forces to continue the attack, Gelimer ordered a retreat. After the Battle of Ad Decimum, Belisarius rapidly advanced toward Carthage. The capital of the Vandal kingdom was now vulnerable. Resistance within the city was almost non-existent, as Gelimer had failed to regroup his army and the Vandal administration had crumbled. The people of Carthage, long oppressed by the Vandals' persecution of Christians, welcomed the Byzantines. On September 15th, 533, Belisarius triumphantly entered Carthage. Despite the fall of Carthage, Gelimer had not fully surrendered. In a final attempt to regroup, he launched a desperate defense against the Byzantines at Tricamarum, west of Carthage. Gelimer's goal was to defeat the Byzantine army and restore the Vandal kingdom. However, this effort failed as well. In December 533, Belisarius decisively defeated the Vandals at the Battle of Tricamarum, marking the end of the defeat at Tricamarum, marked the collapse of the Vandal kingdom. Gelimer fled but ultimately surrendered in 534. Justinian declared that the Vandal kingdom had ended, and North Africa was now part of the Byzantine Empire. With the fall of the Vandal kingdom, Byzantine control over North Africa was re-established, and the region was reorganized as the Byzantine African province. This victory marked a significant milestone in Justinian's dream of rebuilding the Western Roman Empire. The fertile lands and strategic ports of North Africa greatly strengthened the Byzantine economy. Moreover, Byzantine dominance in the Eastern Mediterranean was firmly re-established.